Greetings, everyone. This is me, Zahra Jawad. Again, sorry I had to come again. This is very important, although it's late here and I cannot raise my voice now. But I had to come now because I'll get tired and I cannot sleep. This is very, very important. Someone like Salahuddin here came here and said that you don't want discussions and all this. Well, I will give him another chance here if I can. Let's see him. Checking my live stream. Don't see myself coming live here. What I'm going to talk about is perhaps what I can guess what Salah Din means when he said the tafsirs, look at the tafsirs. In the tafsir, perhaps, like I was just checking at this video uploaded on Sira International, Lloyd's video on how they what the ijma is, how they, you see, when there is something, so I can't say it right now properly, but if there's a contradiction, like what can Prophet Muhammad change the Quran ayats? They are abrogated by God, some of the Quran ayats. Okay, so I'll try to do it my way. Speak in my English way. Sorry about this. I don't mean to sound. I don't mean. I'm not proud or anything. Just because there are people who kind of come here with the prejudice against me, that I don't give people a chance to discuss with me, like Salahuddin recently said. It's not that. It's just that, in a friendly manner, if we, like friends, this is not a debate. This is a discussion we can have, right? So instead of blaming each other and all this, I hope that as a discoverer, self-discovery, so maybe Salahuddin, because he has to put comments here, he has not been able to be, um, express it in his in the live chat uh, to me. And I was on my guard because of his previous thing on me, blame on me. And another thing is that I'm not this thing. Like, of course, I want discussions, but there's another way of I don't know. It's like if you leave, just because I've seen the imams also, or in the commentary section, how I felt betrayed by the imams, my imams also. So if like there's a Quran ayat here, for example, no. So this Quran ayat, then how can God put it here like this, right? Because if you take, let's say, there's a Quran ayat, then the imams change it, or the ijma consensus of the religious scholars, they see this and then they say, like Salahuddin said that something like Prophet Muhammad did not, or after Surah Ashura, it's like they did not cut down the trees. So there are two contradictory tafsirs I showed him for Surah Hashar Ayat 5, right? So he said later it was changed. Salahuddin said to me here on live chat in the comment section. So if you're coming, see, first, don't draw conclusions about me. I really am here for discussions, but the discussions you may be thinking are like, let's get into a debate kind of a thing. Like if you, let's say you thought that I'm not, the way he put it, it's like, okay, his last sentence here was that it was like uh, is is this a let me remember. I thought this was it was like, I thought this was a discussion thing and you welcome discussions, right? Now there's another way to put this sentence to me. So another thing is, yeah, because I cannot invite people on live StreamYard, give my address a StreamYard here, and so you can join me, and so I can hear your voice, and we can have a discussion like this here. But let's keep it like friends discovering maybe something new that Prophet Muhammad, maybe, like have an open mind, not what your imams have told you and what the consensus is and what your tafsirs have told you. I've already looked at the tafsirs of some of the ayats, Quran ayats from the Shia commentary. So, anyways, the way the Muslims take it, perhaps, is that there would be no challenge left for God even there would be no use of this ayat. Then they do not reflect upon the Quran. If it had been from any other than Allah, they would have found within it much contradiction. Then there's no challenge for that. Then why even blame the Bedouin Jews or someone to be changing their books and all this, and also the word of Allah? In Surah Fat, we are told the ayat could be 16 or 17 or 15. Remember the Bedouin Jews were blamed for changing the words of Allah because they said, oh, if you're going for the, when you go for the spoils of war, we will go with you. Take us with you or something like that. Let me go to that ayat, and it blames the Bedouin Jews, that ayat, of changing the word of Allah. So that part is there too. You can have a look at that, and so if you're blaming me that I don't, like that, you're coming very, in a way that, and I also contemplated on what Rock said. So I gave him an answer, but if there's support here, and I also had to go through a lot of pain, a lot of pain. So to say that I would be giving, oh my God, discouraging me like this, like making me feel really guilty, although, like, that I would give Muslims a heart attack or believers or something like this, right? But you're only thinking about the Muslims who, God forbid, to put it this way, but have you thought about those whose lives are at stake, and previously also, right? Who cannot even dare to question their religion because if they want to, they cannot. They have to shut themselves up inside them. They can't question this religion. No matter where you come from, this religion will not allow you to question. The imams will come forward, the Shia imams, and say, we've made it better and better. So have you thought of those who completely don't have the freedom to think even? Forget freedom of speech. We don't have the freedom to think freely without fear. Okay? Think of those who's. So we have support here. I come here again and again, and I'm trying to support also with the support and with what I've learned. I've given my everything in this, right? It's not like you are left without support. So before you get a heart attack or something, I don't know what the best way to. So since I think I found that Quran ayat, and if you want to save the Shias for against the Sunnis or something like that, If you're only looking at the ISIS and terrorism, that side, and that's not the side. Some majority of Muslims may say that's not even the side. That's not Islam. Taliban is not Islam. So please, Rock. One thing he said, he's not here now, but I was contemplating on this, and then being so naive at times, I just don't know. Maybe, just maybe one statement you make here, I could tell that you are coming from a Shia side or that you are not a Hindu, but you, I could suspect that because that is likely, most likely here. So you claim to say that those who oppose a religion, they could, if they speak about it or freedom of speech or something, or if someone, let's say, uploads a video against me, like I could give my family member a heart attack since, I uploaded a video without telling them that their mother did something to me terrible. So just achanak se, all of a sudden I upload the video against their mother and they could, right? And then I would feel, for the rest of my life, feel guilty that I killed them. So that's a good way to discourage someone from even complaining against someone. Because when Imam Mahdi will come, maybe many people will be killed and get a heart attack. Because he's going to, you know what is in the Bible, that whatever you have done in the dark, it will be on the roof, someone will be crying out, saying that you did this against you. What about that day? Have you ever thought of that day? And when the trumpet will be blown, like how your ears will, it will be deafening. It will be the end of the world. So please, now, in these times, try to understand we're waiting for, as a Shia, I was waiting for my last Imam to appear also. And in front of God, when your amals, your sins will come out. But then we're told, like, everyone will have to forgive everyone because they themselves have sins and all that, unforgiven. God knows what will happen. So this is so we have support. I don't mean to give anyone heart attack. I mean to help people so they come out of their fear. So when I was, for example, I was unable to take Karbala, Yazid, and what they did. It was, I went into this phase where, I would go into shock. And when the Shias, some person, my principal told me her cousin or nephew, he just fainted seeing the julus of the Shias. And when I told my father about this, he said, "That's very good. That's good, or very good." He fainted seeing the procession, Shia procession, or listening to the majlis, the sad part, or seeing the Shia procession on the roof. They go or something like this, on the houses, and they saw the procession. They were seeing someone's house, and they were seeing the procession, Shia procession, and that guy fainted. My principal's nephew or cousin. And someone can take blood, to see blood coming out of. But that is okay. That is good. My father said it's good he fainted. Huh? I say, what? Excuse me, huh, for my style. So, anyways, the way you take your things, then the poor people who were blamed for changing, like the Ahl Kitab were blamed for changing their books and all this, you have protected it well with the imams and your ijma, your consensus, your religious scholars can change it and do anything with it. Make changes to it and say Prophet Muhammad, like the Shias defend in this commentary, Multilingual Quran. Let me take you to verse 62. Yeah, that will explain the verse 62, I think, in this. So you see here how the Shias, they defend Prophet Muhammad. Okay, the ayat says, 60. Truly, if the hypocrites and those in whose hearts is a disease, and those who stir up sedition in the city, desist not. We shall certainly stir thee up against them. Then will they not be able to, then will they not be able to stay in it as thy neighbors for any length of time. All right? Now, where have I put my. Okay. Now, then 61 ayat, they shall have a curse on them wherever they are found. They shall be seized and slain without mercy. In brackets, it puts. 62 says, ayat, they shall have a curse on them. No, 61 says, they shall have. Where's the 62? 62 is here. Oh, okay. Such was the practice of Allah, approved of Allah, among those who lived aforetime before. No change wilt thou find in the practice approved of Allah. This is the practice of Allah. Now look at the Shia commentary on this. Look at, it says here, see verse 60. See commentary for verse 60. Now look at the Shia commentary for this. Here, about the verse 60. The hypocrites, the disbelievers, and the enemies of truth have seized and destroyed by. Wait a minute, where is it? I had done this before also, and I keep missing that part. But history written by their associate followers and followers do not mention them and their activities. Okay, against the Holy Prophet and his Ahl Bayt. In fact, it was these hypocrites who annoyed, persecuted, and killed the Ahl Bayt. Okay, so the hypocrites, the disbelievers and enemies of the truth have seized and destroyed by Allah, had been seized in times of earlier prophets, and Allah undertakes in verses 61 and 62 that such people among the Ummah of the Holy Prophet will also meet the same fate. History does not furnish a single example of any action taken by the Holy Prophet against the hypocrites, in the sense mentioned here. So this must be terrible sense, right? For another point, right? It cannot be a good sense, but and that's what, therefore we say that maybe because the reason is not given, not explained in detail, but I just have to guess that maybe because he's a mercy, but in Surah Tawbah, what are we told? That the polytheists can no longer even practice their religious rights in Makkah, and they were driven out on the thing that they broke the pact. Then another, okay, what else is there? History does not furnish a single example of any action taken, but it is the way of Allah, right? So it does not furnish that example in the sense mentioned here in this ayat 60 to 61, who they are and how they will be massacred and all this. But I see Ibn Ishaq's way. Oh, narration. Sorry. Ibn Ishaq telling us about the Bani Qurayza and Bani Nadir. Then it says here, as Allah's promise has to be fulfilled. This is a promise from Allah. Allah's promise has to be fulfilled. Ali, as prophesied by the Holy Prophet, performed this duty in the battle of Siffin, Jamal, and Nahrawan. And so now, after Imam Ali, Imam Hassan didn't he had a peace treaty with Muawiyah. And then Imam Hussein was killed badly, butchered, and all this, and his women folk. And the next Imam, Imam Sajjad, his son, there were a lot of atrocities against them. And they had to travel from Karbala to. So there it stopped. We're told Imam Sajjad did not take any action. He could live in peace after that. But what peace was there? And then Mukhtar took action against Yazid's army and Yazid, I think. Mukhtar. So, and the living Imam al-Qaim. And when Mukhtar took action, having a war, killing them, I read in detail, like there were, from Mukhtar's side, the soldiers were, kicking the heads of the army of Yazid soldiers and all at the time of Karbala. So he went after them, Mukhtar, and took his revenge. And then Imam Sajjad was kind of, he did not protest or say anything against Mukhtar's this action. And the living Imam al-Qaim will complete it when he is sent again in this world by Allah. See commentary of Barat, verses 32 and 33. So if any Shia even, who comes to tell you that our Imams never ever, Imam Hussein, they were just peaceful and defensive wars and for peace and no mischief, corruption in land and all this. Please, I've been through all that. I know. So how will you answer them, right? And no, forget how you will answer them. Don't let them deceive you because they are deceived by their imams. So look at this. Come to multilingual Quran. It's quran.al-islam.org. Go to Surah Ahzab, and like I showed you here when I came here. Did I show you tick mark on top left side and how to come to this with the commentary, right? How to use this website. And show them this commentary here. Read this. No, you don't read this commentary here and show it to yourself. Read it as much as you can. Remember, Mukhtar took revenge. Yet they are cursing them forever and ever, will be going to hell forever and ever. And yet in Surah Asharites we see. So what did Salahuddin say? Sorry, he's not here. But just, this person who came here, I hope he watches this later on. What did he said that now it was changed. Like before in Surah Hashar. See, in Surah Hashar ayat, so the Shias even very, very dodgy, okay? And they don't see it. Surah Hashar. Because they're so seeped in deception by their imams. They think that they've been very peaceful. And for peace, they're doing this. Even the hypocrites in the Quran, I'd say that we do this for peace. So what was this person telling me? that this fifth ayat of Surah Ashar, although he doesn't even look at these ayats, the second ayat, a house is broken, doesn't matter, just leave it. Our imams are true. If he's, that's why I said I wanted to know. So he says he's from Ayat Sunnah. But even if the Shias tell you, and the Shias that I want to save, I want your freedom. You see, even if you want to give your life, give it. But remember, as when I was in this, my life could go anytime. I'm out of breath even today in the morning. So I just want to die in faith, and have that conviction that the religion I'm in, even if I have to give my life or my life is taken or there's murder or execution against, this murder or execution for me, what could give me that conviction that set is inside? Even if you give your lives for your religion, but see to it that this Allah is just and truest. True Allah. Forget truest. There's no truest. True means the most. This is it. This is truest or true. I don't know how to say it. Okay, give your life, but see to it that this Allah has not been unjust. This God that you're going to die for, or live your life for, or sacrifice something in your life for. Right? Do it. But just make sure that this Allah or this God is true. And when I tried to make sure, I found these things which are contradictory. And then how the Shias and the Sunnis and all Muslims, they get that Prophet Muhammad, after this, they would give me that ayat from Surah Azab. Allah stopped him from. Okay, is there an ayat which says that the power we've given to Prophet Muhammad, he can do whatever he likes against anyone he likes? And he can even change here the way of Allah also in Surah Azab. So although he did not practice such a terrible thing, but Imam Ali did. And so the Qaim is going to come, 12th Imam, and practice this terrible thing. Right? And history doesn't furnish an example. Ibn Ishaq has furnished an example. So even if you are a Shia and you come and you tell me this, and you're going to use what things against me, and like Ahl Sunnah who came here, that no, they cut. Okay, their houses. This will not happen because now Prophet Muhammad is not alive. But if you kill the Imam or a moment, so no, let's take it. So Prophet Muhammad is not alive, and so he did this, but his Imams will never do this, and his religious scholars, his followers will never do this. Breaking homes and expelling people from their city, terrorizing them, and Allah has done it. And it is He, meaning i.e. Allah, who got out the unbelievers among the people of the book from their homes at the first gathering of the forces. Little did you think that they would get out, and they thought that their fortresses would defend them from Allah. But the wrath of Allah came to them from quarters from which they little expected it. and cast terror into their hearts, so that they destroyed their dwellings by their own hands and the hands of believers. Take warning then, O ye with eyes to see. Whatever happened to Surah Mumtahana, forget it. You can't argue, like, you can't give them reasons. They will not come with an open mind here then. Such people, such Muslims and Momins and Shias and Sunnis. But I get the courage to get up and do this. No matter how much they try to discourage me, in whatever masks they wear and they come and they tell me that imams have made changes. Of course they can, because Allah has, and like I also said, that Ismaili Imam can make it very positive and he's delusional and all this. Ismaili Imam has given us a positive Islam and all this, but ask the Shias, 12 Shias, what he is, right? And third one is, but I'm not trying to cause sedition against, no 12 Shia is going to go and kill Imam Ismaili Imam. And if not, that Allah decreed for them evacuation. Okay, this is that is because they opposed Allah and His Messenger, and whoever opposes, whoever does, you can't even question him now. I maybe my Shia thing, I got it wrong. I don't know. I really don't know. I've been lucky that they've not come after me. They could put me in. I wouldn't even know that I'm in a prison, house arrested. You know, they would say house arrested. They would tell my sheikh, and the sheikh will do it. Whatever you have cut down of the palm trees or left standing on their trunks, it was by permission of Allah. And so he would disgrace the divinely disobedient. So that Ahle Sunnah gentleman told me to read this in tafsir. I went and read the tafsirs. The imams say that, the fruits that are third grade or second grade, you can cut such trees down and whatnot. I didn't agree to the commentaries. I've read, so here we come to the verse now, that the Ahl Sunnah said, look at it. Tafsirs have changed it. Now you have to read this. Okay, you can read this through the tafsir. So I must take okay, first of all, I think the footnotes I've read, they're not convincible to me, satisfactory. So again, someone just wants to, I feel, okay, I'm not, reserve my comments about that, personal. Well, you'll have to forgive me sometimes. I really cannot take it. Surah Hasharayat. Madness in me. I'm really, really restless. Where is Surah Hasharayat? What is the number? I've forgotten. Yeah, so. And someone even warned me here. I wonder if it could be from my Shia side, coming here in disguise. Because maybe they don't want me to know that it is a Shia leader. Shia leader, supporter. After the battle of Badr, okay, on the second ayat, right? After the battle of Badr, the Jews of Bani Nadir accepted the fact that the Holy Prophet was the messenger of Allah, whose advent has been clearly mentioned in the scripture, and made a pledge not to help or abet the enemies of Islam. The hypocrites had sympathized with the Jews of Bani Nadir, whose opposition had grown strong since the Muslim reverse at Uhud, when many well-known companions had fled and had promised to side with them if it came to a collision with the Muslims and to emigrate with them if they were forced to emigrate. Okay, this is for the second ayat I'm reading. When the Holy Prophet visited their habitation to conduct an inquiry concerning of killing of some Muslims, they tried to kill him. Then, because of their treason and projected murder of the Holy Prophet, they were asked to leave the strategic position which they occupied, about 3 miles south of Medina, endangering the very existence of the Muslims. At first, they disagreed, relying on their fortresses and the secret alliances with the pagans of Makkah and the hypocrites among the Muslims. When the Muslims marched against the Bani Nadir and besieged them while they were in their strong towers, the hypocrites did nothing. And when at length they were exiled, the hypocrites did not go with them into exile. Some went to Syria and some joined the brethren in Khaybar. The Bani Nadir deserved punishment for treason and projected murder of the Holy Prophet. So if you want to believe in this, you can believe in this. But their lives were spared. But their lives were spared, and they were allowed to carry away their goods and chattels. So this is what the the Ahl Sunnah was telling me. Maybe Shia disguised. So you see, the Shias believe more in what their Imams have told them, the commentaries which have come from Imam Ali, the truthful, Haq is with Ali, and Ali is with Haq, and the Quran is with Ali, and Ali is with the Quran. Right? No, they took some of the goods, like Salahuddin said in one of the previous ayahs. Now, if you want to believe in these deceiving Imams, now you see, some Shia will come like Maria, my friend came, said, don't insult my Imams. I will not come here. Totally like, don't say anything that they are deceiving, or don't say anything, don't insult Imams. So then you can't, I can't. Like, I can't, like, what can I do then? But I have to, I have seen it. So you know what I'm against? For the truth, for justice. No, they took some of their chattels because the Shia commentary says so. And how can you trust in the Shia Imams? Huh? So this is what the Shias are stuck on. They won't it won't change their minds. It won't change their minds. No matter what you do. You see, they don't mind using knives on their heads. For Imam Hussain. And हमको नहीं समझाओ, हम समझने वाले नहीं हैं, हम what is that शायद Baltistani's know for Ashiq Hussain, lovers of Hussain. Don't make us understand, we don't want to understand. So the Shias believe more that in these their commentaries, what the Imams have said, but I started from nothing, then I started to go to the Prophet. Ayat see that the Prophet is a false prophet. What is the full, with conviction evidence for the Prophet? When that failed, how can you believe in the Imams of his progeny? He's trying to make his progeny important, not Allah. I mean, the Allah that he says has made his progeny important in Surah 42, verse 23. That is the Ajr Risalat. So a hardcore Shia may come here. But if we say anything, like through the research, I've seen that the Imams are deceptive, that I can't trust the Imams. In other words, through the Quran ayats and proving that the Quran ayats are wrong, they're contradictions, then you're taking me to the Imams and the tafsirs. Can you imagine the injustice you're doing here to me? So it's the end. So you can't blame the Sunnis. Because the Shias are headstrong on this, bent. You can bang your head. They will come to execute me or put me in the jail medal. And you know what? Recently, I was like, I don't want to come. It was like someone was some force, like I think, why am I punishing myself for this? Coming here all the time. My mind is on this. I can't do anything else. I can't even order for my bread or go for my bread. So it's like there's a force here. And yes, it can happen. This Shia leader in Iran, many, many years back, probably my principal's ancestors, right? Bastaki. She's Bastaki. This person thought he was Imam or something. Or he could, either convert the Sunnis or kill them or exile them from their lands. There were minority Sunnis in Iran. I was told that they were asked to convert or leave Iran, their land. And this has happened through a Shia leader in Iran many, many years back. Now, it has nothing to do, my principal, the Bastakis are very cool people. But my principal survived, her mother survived, her father survived. No harm was done to her and her family members, not that I know of. So I don't have any dushmani against the Shias for that. Enmity, any grudge. But really, if this was the truth, I would have given my life and I would have said, no, sabr karo, sabr karo, sabr karo. All the questions were popping up, then doubts were coming. But is it really head banging against, showing the Shias also? So I don't want this, even Peshawar night type. I don't want, because it's like, when the other person is winning, there's some Peshawar night is a dialogue. I don't want any cleverness. Peshawar night is a dialogue between Shia and Sunni scholars. There was somewhere I felt something didn't like from even the Shia side. But when I read Jiddu Krishnamurti, I said, this is it. Because you see, here, even in the dialogue, it doesn't say debate. a book by Sultan al-Wa'izin Shirazi. So they're like, when your Shia is winning, you have this thrill, you have this, and this awe is there, this of a very eminent religious scholar, how he's winning the Sunnis about the turbat that we prostrated on as a Shia. But I then you can't please. So my father would or someone a Shia would blame Jiddu Krishnamurti. And so, for goodness sake, if this is a true religion, even though complaining and all this, I didn't have sabr in me, I would still not leave, I would fall back into this religion. I would fall back into this religion. And so a dialogue between it, this is not a dialogue between friends. This is someone defending with knowledge. They have the defensive side, defending their religion. So we have not, Jiddu Krishnamurti is right, we have not even learned listening to another person, open-minded as a friend going along. Even maybe when I saw Jiddu Krishnamurti, okay, but I took what, you see, he says, don't look at the person. Maybe he'll say, maybe, but did he kill anyone? He would insult people or something like this. He said, what, someone would get up and say, for 20 years I'm here, and you say, what you think about compassion, what's God in this? Like that. But then but then don't forget that he says, don't look at what the author or the speaker is saying, or how he doesn't want you to get in awe of him. You see, he may give it to you, even though he may say, okay, as friends, we're going together, but you may find some double standards in him, and you will be put off by him. But he doesn't say, listen to what the speaker is saying. The speaker is not, the speaker is important also. Obey the speaker. So no, we have not learned dialogue even. Searching together as friends. You might take my mistakes and amplify them, magnify them. Oh, she's made a mistake here, I caught her. She doesn't know the meaning of thinking, intellect. And you know our Mullah Sadra? So there was a Sheikh Asai. And so if you're going to look at my mistakes like that, and this, she doesn't know. There was a Shia who turned a Shia school into Sheikhi school. Where's Sheikh Asai? Asai. Or I have to put a comma here. So all of you may go against me, even the Hindus, because my father said the Hindus were, saving the Shias and all this. That's why I think at that time when they were killing Shias, he came. His video came, Sheikh Asad, Sheikh Shia Sheikhi School. An Indian producer director of that Ashiqi movie came. I keep giving his name wrongly. Sheikhism. Here it is. Sheikh Ahmad. Sheikhism diverged from the Usuli school in its interpretation of key ideas such as the nature of the end times and the day of resurrection. It has been described as a mystical strand of 12 Shia Islam. Behind Ahmad's teachings is the belief in the occultation of the 12th Imam. Believers in this doctrine hold that the last divine ordained leader or Imam lives in occultation and will reappear as the promised Mahdi, following the Mahdi's appearance. So the 12 Shias also believe in this. Ahmad teaches that the Imam Hussein Ibn Ali will return to reconquer the world, and that Imam Ali and Prophet Muhammad will kill Satan. Oh, this is even further going into saying. And Al Raja, meaning the return in English. Oh God. So, first of all, I haven't reconciled with the fact that Shaitan and Iblis and that Quran ayats, and I read Allama Tabatabai and it didn't explain to me properly, or I couldn't get it. And they say that if a Mormon doesn't get, then he's not a Mormon, he's not even a Muslim, he's an infidel. Shaitan has gotten to him, and you should keep saying, Asta, oh God, I take refuge in you from Shaitan. Oh God, you have to keep saying this because the Shaitan has gotten to you. And you know Sheikh Ahmad, who he was? You can read this. I read this. And also have a look at this one who killed for saying Ana al Haq, Mansur. Mansur. You know, the Shias also had a hand in this, Mansur al Haq, and Imam Mahdi. So I don't know my religion much. I wanted to know about those mystical things like, okay, God is in the right that when he said, when he ordered Iblis and all angels to, when he ordered all the angels to bow down, Mansur Halaj, when he ordered, also God, back to that, God ordered all the angels. I could not, I was going round and round, and then I'd say, okay, you go to Imam Hussein, leave that, it will come. I appealed to God. I appealed, when I was reading Surah Kahf, I appealed, like I wish I could find Hazrat Khizr to give me the answer to that mystical thing, like Hazrat Musa was going for the truth, and he found that green man, Khidr, Khidra, or Khidr means green. Right? I was appealing, I really appealed from my heart. And yet they're going to say, the Shias, that Shaitan has gotten to her. Okay, like that. And so, okay, the trees were cut, but later on God said, no, no. So, even the Shias now have started to come in taqiyya. What are you trying to defend? A religion that I have searched, I would have, if I could walk, I would have gone out. Like in the Baha'i, when I read this in Karachi, I said, then if you have to, Imam, please call me, where are you, and all this, that I may come to you. So call me Bab. Baha'i. Faith. Look, it's very, very important for us. But the Imam will not come. We are just nothing. He will come only for 40 mu'minin and he will have 313 soldiers. Who are we? But Bab, Baha'i religion, the founder of Baha'i religion, met Imam Mahdi. Or he was Imam Mahdi. Now I've read about this, I'm not sure. And now you can pinpoint it what I've missing, my memory is short and this and you can say, oh, shaitan has gotten to her. Okay? You can say what you like. I'll give so many Shias heart attacks and, you know, but they won't get heart attack. They won't get a heart attack, the Shias, when they listen to what happened. Bibi Zainab, when she reached the darbar, ooh, you know, I couldn't cry. And I was like, what to do? So I was going down, sitting there in the majlis. Imam Barga, my father, took me in the night for, you know, this, the first time he was, after a long time, he was in Karachi for the Arba'in. We had to go to this Imam Barga. So, you know, I was like moving down and up and down. Oh my God, tears were like, there you don't, it's a miracle they say we don't get a heart attack. But you will give the Muslims a heart attack. So this and okay, and another thing is that again, the mistake of mine in this ayat, Surah Baqarah 100, sorry 200. Yeah, Shaitan has. I make many mistakes, and Shaitan, you know, whoever Shaitan is, makes many mistakes. I'm not saying I'm God. And even if I was some Radharani or something, I don't need it. I don't need worship or importance. It's just the worth of that love I felt. Pure love. You know, people have used me and abused me. And this teacher, she said she was half Catholic, half Shia later on in my life, but you know, that love, pure. But the Shias will not tell you that this is pure love. I know a lady, Muslim lady, she didn't tell me who she was, but said that, or maybe a man or someone, Muslim, that this is not love you're calling, that this for Miss Tisa, your teacher. Our Lord, lay not upon us a burden like that which 200. And when you have completed your rites, remember Allah, like your previous remembrance of your fathers, or with much great remembrance. So I was working on something, and then I came here. So in this I was wrong. Shaitan made me read it wrong, or according to the Muslims, right? So don't come here. She's Shaitan. Shaitan has got her and she's going to become the Shaitan. I wanted to save Imam Mahdi. You know, I was like, why are you saying Jews? Now Jewish lady will kill him and all this when he isn't even born. Sorry, he's born but he has not appeared. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salah ad-Din. Salam, inshallah, you are all good. Yes, mashallah, but very disturbed and all this. I had to come again. It's so good to see you here because I was talking about you. Are you really a Ahl Sunnah or are you a Shia? You said that this has been changed, or what has been changed? Can you please? So thank you so much for being here, my luck, and sorry for the trouble. Surah Hashar ayats? You told me what the Shia commentary here says on Surah Hashar ayats. That they took some of their belongings, but it's in the tafsir. It's not in the Quran ayat. This is from the Shias. It's the same thing for the Sunnis, but their lives were spared and they were allowed to carry away their goods and chattels. So let's hope we have a friendly, good discussion here where you can open your mind and see that before coming to the tafsirs, I've even proved the tafsirs unsatisfactory and contradictory. And if, let's see, where shall I start? Let's say that if you can help me, it doesn't say in the Quran ayats, but you also take the tafsirs, and yes, that is what I have been saying all the time. Yes, but I say that I don't believe in these tafsirs, right? Sorry. So I don't believe in this tafsir. I have a reason for it because I've seen the tafsirs contradicting themselves. It was a long time ago. I was checking and maybe I've made a video just on something on the ayats, Quran ayats, and tafsir I read, and the tafsir was not making sense to me, the Shia tafsir. I cannot trust the tafsir or the imams of the Shias, right? I cannot trust them. If I have proven from through the Quran ayats that this prophet is wrong and we false, and we did not get full like complete miracle, like that conviction that he's a true prophet, then what do you say about that? When the Quran ayats have failed, like I've proven through Surah Azab and other Quran ayats, you see, if you say the Imams change things, and then Prophet Muhammad also, but God said that, okay, God stopped him from marrying, but in the Sunni tafsir we're given the answer. Why? Because the wives were good, and for some of those good wives, now God told him to stop marrying, but what your right hands possess. Surah Ahzab, ayat 52. I read the Sunni tafsir on that. So then, if you believe in the imams, you believe in the tafsirs, and you believe, what can I do to show you that this is a false religion and that there are contradictions, and let alone the imams and the religious scholars and the tafsirs, when the Quran ayats fail to prove that this is a true religion, then what do you say we should do? Salahuddin, are you there? Please, can you help me then? Yes, this is what you were saying, but what if these are just few, this is a tafsir. Let's say I take you to Surah Azab ayat. Was it right for Prophet Muhammad? And if you even look at the tafsir, so I'll take you to multilingual Quran. First, he practices this religion. The polytheist way, custom. Surah, oh, I have to go to multilingual Quran. So Zainab bin Josh, I was told by Shia, my aunt, that it was a suggestion. I found out later. And had I known that this was a order, you have to obey Prophet Muhammad here about your marriage. What would you say about this ayat then? Quran is read in context because certain ayahs assume their context, especially those related to specific incidents. Yes, but what if I give you a simple okay, let's read the Quran in context. Here I'm with you, but I don't agree to what you're saying, however, because then that ayat where it says that if you had found much contradictions in the Quran, and then you know what the Imams have done. God has also brought changes, ayat. So then how do you give that challenge? What do you think about this challenge? That had you found much contradiction in the Quran ayats, then this would have been from other than Allah. Surah Nisa. Then this is not needed, 82 verse, right? On one hand, the Prophet blames the Bedouin Jews for changing the word of Allah in Surah Fat, ayat 16, 14, 15, 16. I can't remember the exact number of the ayat. So then, is this challenge valid when, there are changes and God makes changes? Would this challenge be fair? Then do they not reflect upon the Quran? Doesn't say on the tafsir. If it had been from any other than Allah, they would have found within it much contradiction. Would you not stop here and just, without the tafsir, just look at the Quran ayats? And then we can go back to, what would you say about this? No need for this. Because through ijma also I have seen the religious scholars can make changes, or the imams can make changes. And even Allah has made changes. Cancels one ayat for another. So shouldn't Allah be careful not to blame the Bedouin Jews for changing, or the Ahle Kitab for changing the books, holy scriptures? So here we come to Surah Azab. Am I going too fast for you? Allah has not made for any man two hearts, nor has He made those whom you assert to be your sons, your real sons. These are the words of your mouths, and Allah speaks the truth, and He guides to the way. Fourth verse. The love of Ahlul Bayt can never coexist with allegiance to the enemies. Okay. So here we are told by the Shia commentaries, in the Shia commentary section, about this ayat. In the market of Akaz, Zaid bin Harith was being sold as a slave. The Holy Prophet purchased him and adopted him as his son. The understanding of the text may change, but not the text. The understanding of the text may change. Okay, so what the Quran ayat say, it should not, whatever Rasulullah does, it should not change, right? Yes? In the market of Akaz. Thank you for this. The meaning of the text and the text should not change, right? It's not how you understand the text. It means if the text doesn't change, then the meaning of it also should not change. Then the understanding is one, same, and the meaning and the understanding is one. You can't say the understanding of the text may change. If the text doesn't change, what the text says has to be the same, meaning we understand it to be like that. So if the understanding changes, then something has gone wrong here. There's a contradiction. Then some may take it and be Wahhabs, some may take it and be Ahl Sunnah, some may take it and be Shias, some may take it and be Muslim, Quran only. So there's a danger in this. Division happens. You see, if the text, how you understand it, or the way it is conveyed to you, anyone, everyone, should be the same. And so the understanding should be the same. So we can come to one platform under one umbrella about the text. But if the understandings change about the text, then we will have God knows how many sects, schools of thought. Do you understand what you have told me here? And what this actually means? Do you understand, Saladin, the error in this? What Allah wanted to convey to everyone, his whole the Rasulullah's ummat, understanding has to be one too. Same as the text is, so should be the understanding. Otherwise, it will fail to convey what it really is, what the text means, if the understanding keeps changing. Sorry, so first I agreed with you and then I kind of looked at it. The understanding of the text may change. By whom? Who can change the understanding of the text? You see, what God is conveying to you, it means all the Muslims, all moments. It should be taken the way God is conveying. And this is a revelation of God. That's all. It may have 30 dimensions, but we may go higher and higher on that spiritual level of the ayat. But the A should not change. Then we go to higher understanding, meaning higher spiritual levels. But what God is conveying, we cannot change. It should not change for every person, or even in with two minds, for two minds. You get what I'm saying, but the possible interpretations aren't free. They are governed by the language and the text, etc. Possible interpretations, you see, we're getting into difficult things now. Interpretations we're getting into. And the possible interpretations aren't free. They are governed by the language, etc. So what does this mean? Can you please simplify it? Please don't be like Mullah Sadra. You know, I read Mullah Sadra, I couldn't get him. So when I read Jiddu Krishnamurti, it came to simple. What is thought? What is, What is the ground of the mind? Very, very simple words. Can you please put that for me? I would be really grateful. Does this mean that governed by the language and the context? You see, very simple thing, Salahuddin. This is, there's been a lady here who has been forced into marriage. What is the possible interpretation of this ayat? That it was a suggestion by Prophet Muhammad? Okay, here he makes a mistake. How do the Sunnis take it and how do Sunnis thought he was a pagan at this time, so he could make a mistake here. So okay, according to whatever you mean by this, can you say that that verse I described to you, that Mormons are higher in position than Muslims, was my interpretation right or wrong? Huh? Huh? Salahuddin, I'm waiting for you, please. Excuse me. So here, 6th ayat of Surah Azab, he made a mistake. No. Is it the 5th? Sorry, 5th. Surah Azab. I made a mistake. Sorry. 5th. What would the Shia say about this? But concerning, and there is no blame on you concerning that in which you made a mistake. And here the Shia say that he made Prophet Muhammad, while after making Zaid his adopted son, he even asked the people to witness this, become witness to this. This is a Shia account, by the way. In the market of Akkaz, Zaid bin Harith was being sold as a slave. The Holy Prophet purchased him and adopted him as a son, adopted him as a son. The father of Zaid was a man of means. When he came to know that his kidnapped son was sold as a slave, I was quite surprised as a Shia to read this, that the Prophet Muhammad didn't know that Zaid was even kidnapped. I thought he was so God conscious that he wouldn't buy, because our imams say we don't get this money. There was parables of imams that very high Mominines can understand. Even my father could not understand some of the sayings of Prophet, our imams. Now here, do you see this? When he came to know that his kidnapped son was sold, father comes to know that his kidnapped son was sold as a slave. Now I'm reading the tafsir. Was sold as a slave to whom, you know? So your prophet cannot, property lost, person kidnapped, son kidnapped. Here it fails. The Shia commentary fails here. The imams, when they used to take gifts and money, they would not accept it, because this part of money they would say is stolen. Give it back, or this is haram, illegally earned. Do you not see this? He approached Abu Talib to obtain the freedom of Zaid from his nephew. That's why the Ismailis say that Abu Talib was an imam, I think. Don't the Ismailis take Abu Talib as an imam or something? The Holy Prophet at once set him free and gave him permission to go with his father. But Zaid decided to remain with the Holy Prophet. The Holy Prophet asked the people to bear witness that from that day Zaid was his son and he was his father. He's asking the people to bear witness. Now the Shias at this time think they know that this is the Holy Prophet. He knows he's a prophet. And yet he has done there are many mistakes here. I pointed out one here. The Holy Prophet doesn't know. He didn't even check that the slave being sold to him was kidnapped. He's taken Zed, the kidnapped son. Then he freed him, made him his son, and made people a witness. No, the Holy Prophet at once set him free because of Abu Talib. So many mistakes I can find in this tafsir, but the Shias don't see it. God-conscious Holy Prophet who never errs, Surah Najm ayat, who doesn't err, didn't err, says what Allah tells him to say. He didn't even wait for Allah's revelation. Allah didn't tell him that this is a kidnapped son of so-and-so. You cannot buy him, it's haram. You see, I don't know what technical things and all the Shias and the Sunnis have gone into. Explaining, sorry, I don't mean to pick on you, but like this, but the possible interpretations aren't free, they're governed by the language and context, and this and the eloquence of their own. Like we understand these Quran ayats, this context, and then possible interpretations, and they have eloquence and they have a lot of knowledge. Now, what do you see? I mean, I'm not only picking on you, I'm just saying that do you see where you people have gone wrong? And then you say a shaitan has got into her. You would come to that conclusion, wouldn't you, about me? And then he's made people a witness. Not only God, people. Which people? We're not told. Just people. Muslims, Mu'min, Sahabas. And then what we are told here, so the Holy Prophet at once set him free and gave him permission to go with his father. But Zaid decided to remain with the Holy Prophet. I have no problem with this. Okay, I see this. I have no like I say, I have no problem with this. The Holy Prophet asked the people to bear witness that from that day Zaid was his son and he was his father. I have a problem with this. Because later on it will come. Then he married his cousin Zainab in the verse Surah 37. When he feared the people, what the Shia say, why he feared, it was because, God was telling them through him that he doesn't need to fear anyone but Allah. To reinstate that and remind the people by saying to him that you feared the people, whereas Allah has more right that you should fear him. Would then your possible interpretations come? Right? Like that. I'm not trying to be taunting, but this is my way. I don't like what, not you, but what the Islamic thing, what you're telling me is. The Islamic thing would be the possible interpretations aren't free, they are governed by the language and the context, etc. Right? The Prophet at one, okay. So now I want to go now. The Holy Prophet asked the people to bear witness. Okay, I read this. Then Zaid was his son and he was his father. He was his father. So this is a pagan Arab custom, as we are told in the Quran ayats that he made a mistake. Then he married his cousin Zainab, a very beautiful young woman, to Zaid. It so happened that they could not live happily together. Zaid divorced Zainab. To save Zainab from the misery of a divorce, Allah commanded the Holy Prophet to marry Zainab. According to pagan formula, when a man wanted to get rid of his wife, I don't have a problem with this right for now. You are to me as back of my mother. Likewise, an adopted son was treated as a natural son. It was this crudity of the pagan morals that Prophet Muhammad practiced right now, before Allah's revelation even came. So, why are they being so critical about it? The crudity of the pagan morals. Upon the Holy Prophet, upon the Holy Prophet's marrying the divorced wife of his freed man Zaid, who was now not son, who was also his adopted son, okay, gave rise to a great deal of hostile criticism, like I'm criticizing. Would you call it hostile criticism? Or would you call it criticism on fair basis? Islam abolished these widespread foolish customs which the Prophet Muhammad himself practiced. One of them here. In Islam, according to verse 23 of Nisa, those who have been wives of your sons proceeding your loins are within the prohibited degrees. Well, Zainab bin Josh also becomes the mother of the faithful believers, and Zaid was a faithful believer. Now she becomes his mother. Ayat comes that these wives are now of the Prophet, the mothers of the faithful. Aka Mehdi Puya says if there is absolute submission to the will of Allah in the heart of a man, there cannot be any room for ghair Allah, other than Allah in it. Okay? Right? Absolute submission to the will of Allah in the heart of a man, there cannot be any room for ghair Allah in it. Surah Tahrim Ayat. Why does he seek to please his wives who are annoying him, according to Shia commentaries? Ghair Allah is not allowed. Absolute submission to the will of Allah in the heart of a man. So if he's using the pagan thing of calling them mother or what, Prophet Muhammad himself in Surah Tahrim broke a law, prohibited himself what Allah had made lawful for him, seeking to please his wives. And according to the Shias, those wives are hypocrites, disbelievers. They go into disobedient fasiq. So, to the Prophet and Allah. So what happens? He was pleasing hypocrites' wives. Yet the Shias say no. He was being a great husband. And Allah asks, why are you doing this? Yet there's a verse that says, okay, doesn't matter, Allah is most forgiving, merciful. And you broke an oath, but you dissolve it. Allah is your protector. Assert the relationship to the fathers. This is more equitable with Allah. But if you do not know the fathers, okay, the fifth ayat, right? There is no blame on you concerning that in which you made a mistake. Call the adopted sons by their natural fathers. You see, the Shias take Prophet Muhammad from birth as he knew. He was a prophet when he came to realize, you know. So then, why does he make a mistake here? And Shias have not mentioned it. What is this? Let's see. Again, you want me to go again through this? Many times I've gone through this. I'll go again through this tafsir. Call the adopted sons by their natural fathers and not by those who have adopted them, which correspond with truth and reality. It is better to call them brothers in faith or friends, because brotherhood is used in a wider sense than fatherhood and is not likely to be misunderstood. Salma, daughter of Abi Ummiyah. No mention of mistake under this ayat. So I search under ayat 6. This verse was revealed when the Holy Prophet's companion, see, noteworthy, huh? No mention that the Prophet has made a mistake here. Which you made, it's not a Sahaba who made a mistake. It's the Prophet who made a mistake here. The Holy Prophet. No mention of that. You see, they mention the rise, a great deal of hostile criticism, but the Shias don't mention the mistake he's made, the Holy Prophet has made. We are told here in the 5th ayat of Surah Azab. What do you say about this? Okay, 6th ayat. The Prophet has a greater claim on the faithful than they have on themselves, and his wives are as their mothers. He's made his wives their mothers, and as is put in brackets. This I have a problem with, because it says that this is the most crude thing that the pagans used to practice. Remember the commentary above this verse? Then let's show you an Imam saying here that Zainab bin Jash was forced to marry, against her will. She was forced to marry Zaid. Let's go to 37. maybe there it is mentioned under verse 36 or 37, because, yeah, 36 says, yeah, here, yes. And it behoves not a believing man and a believing woman that they should have any choice in the matter when Allah and His Messenger have decided a matter. And whoever disobeys Allah and His Messenger, he surely strays off a manifest straying. Refer to the commentary of verses 4, 5, and 28 to 32 of the surah about Zaid, Zainab, and the Holy Prophet. Zaid's marriage with the Holy Prophet's cousin, Zainab, daughter of Josh, was celebrated in Makkah 8 years before the Hijrat. Okay. At the time of the marriage, when she was informed by the Holy Prophet, she did not like the proposal. She did not like the proposal. Where is it? At the time of the marriage, when she was informed by the Holy Prophet, she did not like the proposal. So her brother Abdullah bin Josh, and both of them, according to Imam Muhammad bin Ali al-Bakr, wanted to exercise their freedom of choice in this matter. Then this verse was revealed. And it behoves not a believing man and a believing woman that they should have any choice in the matter when Allah and His Messenger have decided a matter. And whoever disobeys Allah and His Messenger, he surely strays off a manifest straying. So you see, in this you will say, what will you say about this? Here it's okay, but now the believers, when they get married, when the Maulana comes for the time of nikah, he has to ask the bride, you you daughter of so and so, do you agree to marrying this name and then son of so and so, right? Son of so and so, father saying. Why? Zainab was forced into marrying Zaid. Failure here. What do you say about this? I mean, what does Islam say? Sorry. What does the way you see Islam, what does it say about this? It's right here, correct? So her brother Abdullah bin Josh didn't agree to the proposal, neither did she. Both of them, according to Imam Muhammad bin Ali al-Bakr, wanted to exercise their freedom of choice in this matter. Then this verse was revealed. We must not put our own wisdom in competition with Allah's wisdom. Right? We must accept it. Now they're using Allah's wisdom here. According to a person's choice of marriage, against the person's free will to marry someone they like or they approve of. They're putting Allah's wisdom here. So two of these, wouldn't you say, sacrificed, being sacrificed for Allah's wisdom? And what is Allah's wisdom? We're told here in 37th ayat. So that there should be no difficulty for the believers in respect of the wives of their adopted sons when they have accomplished their want of them, and Allah's command shall be performed. This is the wisdom, right? So a marriage broken, even Prophet Muhammad couldn't mend it. He told Zaid, and when you said to him, to whom Allah had shown favor and to whom you had shown a favor, keep your wife to yourself and be careful of your duty to Allah. This is just in vain. And you concealed in your soul what Allah would bring to light. So what was he concealing in his soul? When you closely examine the verses, this part of the verse, it means that Allah had already revealed to him, the Prophet, only that a divorce will happen and he will marry the divorcee of whoever, even if he wasn't his adopted son, whoever marriage counseling he was doing, keep your wife to yourself and be careful of your duty to Allah. Doesn't it look like a hypocrite superficially saying this? What a marriage counselor. What blessings. Sallu. Allah and the angels sent Sallu to him. Or Salli. What is the word used in that ayat? Will you now take Prophet Allah's and Prophet Muhammad's blessings on your marriage vows? In your marriage vows. Allahumma, will you say the Durood Sharif? I've already explained this, but I had to do it for you because I was you made me quite restless on this. Like, I started to think again what the Shias would think, but the possible interpretation aren't free. The understanding of the no. So are you here, Salahuddin, or have you gone to say your prayers? Sorry to trouble you. Now here we are told that man's responsibility to Allah, and particularly a prophet's submission to Allah's will, had to be of the highest degree. In conveying Allah's message or in carrying out His commands, a prophet had to fear none other than Allah. So in a commentary of 37, see commentary for verse 36, about him fearing the people. Then it doesn't make sense to me. You see these tafsirs of the Shias also. So let alone the Sunni tafsirs. But I had to even look at the dhaif hadiths and narrations from the Sunni side. I take one Ibn Ishaq's narration. One person who has narrated against what he did to the Bani Qurayza. Because all this failed for me. What I'm asking you here, and you have been unable to reply to me whether, sorry if you have gone for your prayers, Fajr prayers, or, let me wait until you come back. So, but I can, have I been too fast? Or is this enough? You did fear the people implies that the right course should be followed, whether the people like it or not. As said in verse 54 of Maida, they fear not the censor of the censorers. Then remember Surah Tahrim ayat? Did he fear God by making, he feared, he was he was like, his wives are annoying him. He got annoyed by the two wives. He could have separated from them, given them a separation time. Let me so, and Wahi should have come that no, no, don't take a oath prohibiting yourself. That's why Allah asks why. Surah Tahrim, Ayat 1. Now, Salahuddin, I've gone through all this. In my previous videos uploaded, live streams, whenever I could, there's been a greater development. I showed in the Quran ayah, Surah Tawbah 23, 24, who are the disobediently, who are the fasiq, who are the zalim. And now I've come to Surah Baqarah 204 and 205. And yes, even recently I called out to the Muslims, come anytime you like. You want me to repeat the things I've said? Or you can check my channel with all the videos. You would make life so easy for me. Have you checked my videos? There was a man who came to Salim Lalani's Ismaili's channel, and he said, I've checked all your videos against His Highness Al Khan and all this. I felt he was a very responsible person. To have done that and then come, as a friend, okay, I understand where you're coming from, what not you've discussed, what not you've brought out in your videos, and now I come here, I would have embraced you like a honest sister, loving, brother Salahuddin. I would have embraced you, welcomed you warmly here. That you've done your part of the work so responsibly. And that would have been like you did your great homework with me, and now you have come here. If you have anything else to say or object to. So if you really cared, what are the etiquettes of Islam? What are the responsibilities? What are the prerequisites before you go for your namaz, your salah? Are you not thinking that I'm not doing this out of habit, but I'm going to Allah? I have to make a niyat. I have to make an intention now. Be very conscientious when you do your wudu. Look at that water. What did Imam Ali say? So have you done your duty as a Muslim? If I went, I have listened to Apostate Prophet and never said anything. Listening to Apostate Prophet, so many videos, seeing Abdullah Samir, so many videos I've seen. Before I could even, then they had the live stream. I cannot object to them when I don't, I don't have the full answer or things like that. So you must be really very knowledgeable about your religion, but do you know that, like, can you see the other side of it? How to be, how to perform, how to be a responsible human being, and how to come here to discuss as a friend, as a brother, in a conscientious way. Please tell me, where are you? Okay, I'm going to take so that Salahuddin, thank you. Thank you so much. I think you are busy. You didn't answer me. The rest of the questions. The rest of my questions. Questions and what shall I put? Objections about this tafsir and all. So dot dot dot. Okay, I need to go now. He's not here. Thank you for the like, if it is you, Saladin. God bless you and your family members much always. So please see where I'm coming from. And this has been like 2 years ago or something. I have on videos that were black, nothing interesting, just my audio. I uploaded and things like that for 3 years ago or something. Okay, thank you very much. Or 2 years ago, I can't remember exactly.